You notice the same phrases repeated by different people. Not similar. Not close. Exactly the same words, the same tone, the same timing. You change one detail in a conversation, just one, and their response doesn't change. You try again with someone else, in a different place, and still the same reaction. It feels rehearsed, almost programmed. For the first time, you don't feel confused. You feel like you're finally seeing something hidden in plain sight. Are people fake, or are you finally seeing the system? You sit in a normal conversation, nothing unusual at first, just routine questions and expected answers. Then you hear it again. The same opinion, delivered in the same way, by completely different people. Different lives, same response. Your mind catches it instantly. Humans rely on mental shortcuts called heuristics, fast-thinking patterns that help them respond quickly, but also make behavior predictable. You begin noticing it everywhere. At work, at home, online. It's not just similar thinking anymore, it's identical patterns repeating. You try to ignore it, but something inside you refuses to let go. Because once you see the pattern, it never disappears. Now you start watching more closely. You stop reacting and begin observing. Someone starts speaking, and you already know how their sentence will end. Not guessing, knowing. Your predictions land again and again. Humans mirror each other constantly, driven by neural systems known as mirror neurons. People copy tone, emotion, and behavior without realizing it. You test this. You shift your tone slightly, and theirs follows. You pause longer than usual, and they fill the silence exactly as expected. It feels like the same code running on different people. You stop smiling as much, because it no longer feels random. It stops feeling human. It starts feeling like a system, not coincidence. So you decide to break it. Someone asks, "How are you?" and you don't give the usual answer. You pause, then respond honestly. They freeze for a moment, just a second, but enough for you to notice. Their mind searches for the next line because the script just broke. Most conversations follow predictable patterns: greeting, response, validation, exit. You interrupt the flow again with someone else, and the same thing happens. Confusion, awkward laughter, forced recovery. It's fragile, far more fragile than you expected. You realize something uncomfortable. Normal interaction isn't entirely natural. It's performed. And the system only works if you play along. Something shifts inside you after that. You stop engaging emotionally. Not on purpose, it just happens. People speak, but it feels like you've already heard everything before. You predict reactions before they happen. You see patterns before emotions even form. Overanalysis creates distance between experience and feeling. It can lead to something similar to depersonalization, where things feel unreal even when they're not. You look at someone close to you while they're talking, expressing, feeling, and you feel nothing. Not anger, not connection, just observation. Like watching a character in a role. That's when you realize the truth. They haven't changed. You have. And now they talk, but you no longer feel it. You begin pulling away. Fewer conversations, less engagement, less noise. You think distance will help clear your mind, but it does the opposite. The patterns become sharper, more obvious. Isolation changes perception. When input decreases, the brain starts amplifying patterns, searching for consistency everywhere. You sit alone replaying interactions, and everything feels pre-written. Every response seems expected. You don't even need to test people anymore. You already know the outcome. And the less you engage, the more artificial everything feels. Distance doesn't break the illusion. It makes the illusion sharper. Then you start connecting everything: people, systems, culture. Why do millions of people think the same way? Why do opinions spread so fast and sound so identical? Because they're shaped. Algorithms influence behavior. Culture reinforces it. Repetition turns ideas into accepted truth. You scroll through content and see the same thoughts repeated by different faces. It finally clicks. People aren't fake. Behavior is conditioned. Trained over time and reinforced every day. This isn't random. It's structured influence. And maybe, it never was random. Then the question hits you. If they're influenced, what about you? You start analyzing your own thoughts, your opinions, your reactions. Where did they come from? Were they chosen or absorbed? Identity isn't created in isolation, it's shaped by environment, feedback, repetition. You realize something unsettling. Your personality might not be entirely yours. You hesitate before speaking. Every thought feels questionable. Every reaction feels examined. You're no longer just observing others, you're observing yourself. And the line between you and the system begins to fade. If they are programmed, what about you? So you make a decision. You stop running on autopilot. Every action becomes intentional. Every response becomes chosen, not automatic. You slow down your speech. You pause before reacting. You question every impulse. Self-awareness gives you control, but it comes with a cost. Comfort disappears, because now everything requires effort. Even simple interactions feel heavy. But something changes. You begin forming your own responses built, not copied. For the first time, you feel a sense of control. But you understand something clearly. Awareness is not freedom. It's responsibility. Now you see everything differently. Conversations become systems, inputs, outputs, reactions. You understand emotional triggers, timing, influence. Psychology becomes practical. You choose when to blend in and when to stand out. You test interactions with precision, and it works. Every time. But there's a conflict. You can control the interaction, or you can be authentic. Not always both. In one moment, you say what works instead of what's true. It gets the response you expected, but it feels wrong. Because now you know you're not inside the system anymore. You're navigating it. You can see the code behind behavior. Eventually, something changes again. You stop resisting. You stop fighting the patterns. Because you understand them now. Humans need structure. Shared behavior makes society function. Without patterns, there is chaos. What you saw wasn't fake people. It was human nature, efficiency, adaptation, survival. You look at people again. Same words, same reactions. But now you understand the reason behind them. Not programming. Conditioning. Not fake. Human. And for the first time, you don't feel detached. You feel aware. They were never fake, just human. You notice the same phrases repeated by different people again. Same tone, same timing. But this time, you don't react. You just observe. Across the room, someone else goes quiet. They're listening closely, watching patterns, noticing something. The same way you once did. Their expression shifts, confusion, then realization. And just like that, it begins again.